Good morning, 8Cs, receiving school students and teachers.
Good morning, Miss Shira.
Thank you. You may sit down. Yes. All right. 8Cs and receiving students, I'll just remind you again. In our previous lesson, I gave you, all right, I assigned to you a project, all right? A project in which your groups were all going to work together and come up with or do a research. Now, receiving students, the topics were on earthquakes, plate tectonics, and volcanic activities. So what you're going to do is you're going to do a research on each of these topics. So maybe each group you choose which topic you want to work on. All right? So get information. You have a chart. You should have pictures or illustrations if you would like, or pictures. Right? So maybe you could look elsewhere for information. So receiving students, I'm just reminding you on your project what you're going to be doing. So each of the groups you will have to work together. Now group leaders, make sure you have a record of the students that are taking part or involved in your research. Everyone has to take part and get information. As I said, the time I'm extending it to 2 weeks. I said 2 weeks, all right? So after the 2 weeks, you come again and then you present, all right? You present your findings. So I hope your groups are working on your topics. So receiving students, you have your groups, you choose your topics, which topic to work on, whether volcanic activities, plate movements, or earthquakes, how earthquakes are caused. And so receiving teachers, that means I'm not going to teach on plate tectonics, volcanic activities, which I reminded you that I was going to teach also, because I've already given it as a project to the class. So I cannot teach it again because I'll be giving away information, all right? So that's why we'll move on to another topic. So for today's lesson, we're just going to go, it's just a revision exercise for you, class, and receiving students. As I said, I'm not going to teach on plate movements or plates because I've already given you as a project. These topics are already given to you, so you'll work on it. All right. This revision exercise, please, I hope you have your exercise books with you. I'm just going to give it to you as an activity and you work on it. Now, you might have your test, 8Cs, sometimes next week. Receiving students, you can also come up with a test for the students. And not forgetting climate graphs, right? Climagraphs. I'm reminding you again, climagraphs. So for us, model class, our due date is tomorrow, right? Due date. So tomorrow at lunchtime, you give in yours, model class. For the receiving students and teachers, whatever time you want to collect your climagraphs, then you set your due date time. All right, class, look up here. All right, from the topics that you've learned so far, all right, you're going to answer these questions. As I said, revision questions. Number one, quickly, get that one down. Receiving students, what is a physical environment? Now, it doesn't mean that you go back to your page 1 and look at the answer and then copy down. Revision question, revision meaning these points here should already be up here in your head. All right? And it's just take it out from your head and write it into your exercise book. Not looking at the book again, flipping through page 1. Where's page 1? Oh, physical environment. Okay, this is the answer to what is a physical environment. Okay, can we have you to, from your head, think it twice again and then onto your book? What is a physical environment? Some of you are very good in going back to your exercise book and looking at the questions and then copying it down into exercise book. Yeah, you answer it into exercise book. All right, class, have you finished with that question? Yes? All right, good. Okay, that's number 1. All right, number 2, list some of the, or let's say list some examples of features in a physical environment, or list key features of a physical environment. What are some of those features that make up a physical environment? Okay, that's number 2. Receiving students. All right, once you finish number 2, right, number 3, it says illustrate, okay, illustrate a feature, then explain the cause, all right? Explain the cause of that feature. So, illustrate meaning, okay, into your exercise book. And then you choose, okay, you choose a feature, illustrate a feature, and you explain. Once you've done that, once you've illustrated the feature, you explain the cause. For example, mountains or valleys, okay? How is it formed? How are mountains formed? How are valleys formed? Maybe beneath you can write, beneath your illustration in your exercise book. So you don't have to be very good artist to draw. You can just draw as long as you're illustrating that feature and you just explain the cause. Or rivers, what is the work of rivers? All right? If you're drawing a river, what is the work of rivers? And then maybe you can write it in your beneath your illustration. Okay? Or mountains, if you want to draw a mountain, draw it and then explain the cause. Okay, so do that quickly. Don't. That's why it's important that you need pencils. You need your own pencils, rubber. So anything like this, you are ready. All right, if you finish with your illustration, you can go on to the next question. So I have it up on the slide there. Those who have finished with your illustrations, if you haven't finished, okay, you continue with your illustrations. up if you finish with your illustrations. Okay, good. I need a pen. This is. Can I borrow your pen, please? You finish with yours? Okay. Mountains are from when the earth's crust bends. When we have, what causes the earth's crust to bend? Or molten rock or magma. That moves. That's crust. Okay. Who else has finished? And 14. Wait. The highland. Okay. Okay. Good. Okay. Michael. Terry, you finished? Huh? You're still thinking? Come on, doesn't have to be that long. Just a short explanation. What did you draw? Okay, and how are volcanoes formed? The volcanoes are formed when the Earth's crust, okay, or when the magma or molten rock moves in the Earth's crust, okay, and when magma flows upwards or flows out of the Earth's crust, there's a gap. But you just explain in your own words if you want. Okay, good. Not yet? Anna? Okay, let me see. Where is your exercise book? Huh? You have to keep your exercise book. All your notes should be copied down neatly into your exercise book. Junior, are you listening to me? Just time lo test na oseme you buy you look lo book lo you. You go to paper you gonna throw more. Mountains. Okay. And you?
Thank you.
And that's it? These are your mountains. Folding and folding. Yeah, it's a climatograph. What's climatograph? Climatograph is a graph that shows the what? The rainfall. Yeah, rainfall and temperature readings or let's say rainfall and temperature of a place. Of a place. Yeah. You need to copy this one down too, yes? Yes, yes. Okay. Good. Okay. Oh! Oh yeah, come where? Or maybe okay. Kemudian, hah? And you still drawing? Why? Why you still drawing? You couldn't think of something. Come on, Emmanuel. Okay. You finish, Andrew? Not yet. You finish? Why not? Aaron? right, looks like you have finished 8C's receiving students. Most of you have finished with your illustrations. Very good. Maybe the receiving students can, the receiving teachers, you can correct your students' exercises or the illustrations that your students have drawn. Okay, let's just go through the questions, please. I hope you finish with these words here. You finish answering them? Yes. You've got the definition? Okay, good. All right. Okay, let's quickly. Number 1, physical environment. Somebody explain to us, receiving students. Anyone? Okay, Eileen. Oh, hi.
Physical,
Okay, you others quiet and listen to a answer.
physical environment is the living things and the non-living things in the environment, and is also known as the natural environment.
All right. Any other answers? Physical environment is also known as the natural environment. Consists of living and non-living things that make up the environment. Yes. Okay, good. Looks like your answers are the same to hers. Anyway, let's move on. Number 2. Key features of a physical environment. What are some of the features that make up a physical environment? Right, you can have Bronwyn. Where's the mic?
Vegetation, seas, rivers, mountains, valleys.
All right. You have vegetation, seas, rivers, mountains, volcanoes. Those are examples of, those are features that make up a physical environment. Okay? Now, listen, in your previous lesson, we looked at some of the physical features of the world, physical environments of the world, and also in Papua New Guinea, where I gave you worksheets where you were to complete down those, so you complete all those features, listing down the seas, rivers, and so on. So I hope you completed that. Also to the receiving students. Okay, for question 3, teachers, you can correct your students' work. All right, let's move on. The last one. Can we have someone to give us a definition for these 3 words? So let's have netizen, number 1.
Chisholm, a break or a crack in the ground caused by earthquake.
All right. Oh, you want to give a same answer, or it's just the other word? Okay, netizen said chasm or chasm. However you pronounce it, CHASM. All right, it's a gap or it's a split or crack in the ground that is caused by earthquakes or opening of the earth's crust. All right, chasm. All right, next word, climatograph. Okay. One from group 5. Group 5. All right, good. A climatograph is a graph that combines the temperature readings and rainfall measurements, okay, or readings in one graph, or of a place. So let me put it this way. A climatograph is a graph that combines reading information, temperature information, or readings, rainfall readings or measurements of a place. Okay? So it's only one graph which has all the lines and what do you call it? Columns. or bars. Not bars, but columns. Weather. All right, weather. Okay, I haven't heard from Celestine. Okay, you others quiet. Celestine, give your answer definition.
It's the state of the atmosphere at the same place and time.
Okay, hey, did you others hear that? Okay, Celestine, this time can you read a bit loud? And you others quiet. Okay.
Day-to-day amount of rainfall, cloud, sunshine, and temperature.
Okay, any other answers? Thank you, Celestine. Caroline?
Conditions of an area within 24 hours.
Okay.
Mike.
All right, weather, as what Celestine and Caroline said, it's just the same. Day-to-day amount of rainfall, sunshine, temperature. Okay. Day-to-day amount of rainfall, sunshine, or temperature, or wind of a particular place. Yes. Or just day-to-day amount of rainfall, sunshine, wind, temperature. All right, so HCs and receiving students, I hope you've understood what we've just gone through. Revision? Yes? Group 5. Okay, our lesson for tomorrow, this is what I would like you to bring these things, okay? Quick, listen very carefully. Now, tomorrow's lesson, we're going to be looking at latitude lines, okay? Latitude lines and longitude. What you're going to bring, you need your rulers, or not rulers, sorry, but pencils. You need pencils. And I'd also like you to bring a lid container, all right? A container lid. Maybe it can be a small one, all right? Just a small one, but not too big, not too small, just in the middle, all right? So look for a lid, okay? An empty container lid. So receiving students, can you also bring that? Don't forget pencils and a lid container lid. All right, the lid of a container. Or anything that is round, okay? The surface, round, we'll use that. If you have any grid papers, HCs, if you have any grid papers, then maybe that would be of help. Or if not, then we'll provide you with those materials. Grid papers. All right, so you know what to bring, class? And receiving students for your next lesson. Thank you. Pilot teachers, sorry, receiving teachers. Our keyword for today's lesson, revision. All right, thank you, 8Cs, receiving school students and teachers, and you all have a nice day today.